ho, ho! Welcome back to the Amazing Survivors Podcast with
Tron and
Tremaine.
All right, so we're going to break down Survivor Season 46, Episode 10.
Man, it's coming down quick.
It is. We're almost to the end, y'all. So let's break this down here.
All right. Run the Red Light is the title of the wonderful
Run
episode.
that red light.
Go, Maria, go.
So it starts out kind of after Tribal last time, and Liz is feeling super left out because no one told her of the plan, and she found herself outside of the boat.
She found herself feeling dumb as beep.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. Like, I'm not exactly sure why she was left out other than...
I don't know either.
Because...
It seemed like everyone was in on it.
Everyone but Liz and Hunter, of course.
Yeah.
But I just feel like Liz is on the outside all the time, and it really shows in this episode how she's trying to make moves, but things or people keep blowing up her game.
Yeah.
So I love her telling that she doesn't want to be around these hoe bags anymore.
Yeah.
I thought that was hilarious.
I think she's a pretty funny person myself.
Yeah,
she's entertaining at least.
She's got some good one-liners.
Yeah.
Q is just on the outside, out on the beach, where he tends to be a lot.
He knows he messed up, and so he's kind of just like resigned and like whatever happens.
Kind of
like,
checked out, if you will.
Yeah. So he's out there.
Yeah.
But Maria goes to check on him and just kind of like talk to him, which I think is super smart of Maria because she's kind of like, hey, this guy's on the outs. I could easily beat him in the finals. Like, let me work with him as much as possible, get him as one of my numbers.
Yeah. And that's really, like, I feel like the better players are really good at corralling those that are feeling like they're on the bottom, corralling them and going, hey, we can still work together. Your game's not over because your goal and my goal, as far as who we get out next, can definitely align, and we can work together on this next one.
For sure.
And I think Maria's doing a really good job at that.
I do too. I think she's playing a really good game right now. I like her chances.
Yeah. And then after they chat...
I think she's doing a really good job of also just kind of like playing an incredibly good game, but being under the radar. Like, I don't think anyone's like, oh, she's this mastermind, we gotta get her out. Yeah. Everyone's just like, oh, I love her.
As far as the edits go, no one has really targeted her or brought her name up.
At all,
from what we've seen.
Yeah.
And so after she talks to Q, it kind of goes to the next morning where it's her, Charlie, and Kenzie. And they're still on board for voting out Tiff. Because Kenzie realizes... we voted the same. There's got to be some separation, or I've got to get ahead or get her out. Yeah. So I can build my resume and look good for the jury.
For sure.
Even though she's been my number one, I have to take her out before she takes me out.
Yeah.
And so that's just good gameplay. It's like you got to get them before you get got.
100%.
So.
100%.
Then it goes to the challenge. Yeah. And it was massive challenge.
Reward challenge here. For a bunch of Applebee's. Which, like, I don't know. I'd imagine that they've got, like, a commercial kitchen there for all the staff and everyone, right?
Well, from what I just heard on Jeff's podcast, Applebee's sends their own crew and all the fixings and supplies there to fix it for them.
Right, using probably a commercial kitchen that's on site. Because I was like, how in the world is this Applebee's going to be good? Like, I don't know. I mean,
it looked good to me.
It looked great.
I can't remember the last time I went to Applebee's.
Oh, dude, I haven't been there for so long. I don't know. Is Applebee's even a thing anymore here?
It is to Liz.
Yeah, but I don't even know if we have one in Utah
we do just down the road here in Fort Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah. Right next to the Smiths.
No way.
Yeah.
No, it's a Chili's.
Is it?
Yeah, like by like...
Oh, maybe you're right.
Yeah.
Chili's,
I don't think we have Applebee's.
Is there anything different? Oh, wait. There is one downtown on 4th South.
I'm Googling this.
4th South.
No, that's a Chili's also.
That's Chili's too?
Yeah.
I'm pretty sure Chili's took out all the Applebee's then.
Yeah. Applebee's. Hold on, let's see.
We're Googling this in Salt Lake.
Applebee's.
Well, I mean, they get the
this.
burger, they get the chicken with mashed potatoes, they get the artichoke dip, the mozzarella sticks, the chicken wings. So they get all this food if they win.
If they win. Okay, so there is an Applebee's in Taylorsville. There's like 2 of them left here in Salt Lake. So.
All right.
Okay.
We might have to
go.
Take a run.
Try this
run.
bourbon mushroom burger or whatever the crap.
Hold the mushrooms, but I'll take the rest.
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
All right. So yeah, big challenge. I'm sure they're starving. Liz for sure is starving because she's allergic to all sorts of stuff.
Everything.
And so she hasn't really eaten. So it's a pretty big thing to get like all of this food and nutrition.
So the challenge is they jump over a couple of obstacles. They go through this little netting obstacle.
Yeah.
Then they get this big bag of sandbags that they gotta chuck through this. I call it a fishnet.
Yeah, like a fishnet tunnel.
Yeah.
Then get all those out. Then untie another bag with a final sandbag. Go under
the net
with like a bunch of sand and like heavy weights on it, and then get to their little platform. Throw that sandbag up and land it on this perch.
How tall is that perch? You think?
Ooh,
it looks like 20 feet.
Yeah, I was gonna say about.
And 20. It also looks like it's probably 20 feet from them.
Yeah.
It's not easy. No, it's a small perch.
No.
So
Q just was out for it, man. He crushed everyone through those nets.
Smoked them through the nets. Did a really good job on chucking the sandbags through the little net.
Yeah.
Kenzie, okay, go ahead.
Kenzie, on the other hand, she is terrible at competitions.
Oh,
she is the worst one there by far.
She's not. She's not a player at all.
No.
Between her and Liz.
Yeah, her and Liz.
They're dragging for last.
Yeah. Tiff did a really good job too. She crushed it.
She was right there with Q at the end. Yeah. And it was basically going to be one of those two to nail it.
But everyone eventually got through the nets, and everyone was throwing for a chance to win.
Yeah.
Which was kind of cool.
But Q wins. He gets the dub. He's super excited. And this is the best part of the whole episode almost.
Well, so before this drama, Liz kind of talks about how she's starving, hasn't eaten a ton. She can eat this. This is her survivor ritual.
With her daughter.
She goes with her daughter to Applebee's, turns her phone off. They ordered this particular burger, which I'm pretty sure like production found out about, which is why they had this burger there. Yeah. Does all that. And then watches Survivor with her daughter. So there's like some emotional ties there. There's also the fact that she hasn't eaten and she really wants this. And so she just wants it so bad.
Probably more than everybody else, for sure.
Yes.
And so Q, one by one, gets to choose 3 other people to come with him.
Yeah.
It was surprising they chose Tiffany right off the top. And Tiffany was surprised that he chose her.
Yeah. I get why he chose her, but at the same time, like, all of this is like too little too late.
Yeah. So. And I kind of feel like, sorry, dude, you really burnt that bridge.
Yeah.
And so, Q, I understand you want to try and repair that and do some damage control, but you and Tiff, it looks like, have not been talking the last 2-3 days. So you might as well start over and...
Yeah. Okay.
Take somebody else.
You're in Q's position. Who do you take?
I definitely take Maria. And I like his reasonings for taking Maria.
For sure.
I mean, if you're going to move forward, I would take Liz. Mm-hmm. The reason why is like she does have that connection, but it's going to gain you some favor.
Yeah.
Either if she's on the jury and you're at the end, or, you're just trying to make a bond to possibly work with someone for at least one vote.
Yeah.
So I would have taken Liz. And then also either Ben or Charlie.
Yeah.
Maybe Ben. Yeah. Like, I don't know how tight Q is with Ben or Charlie.
I'm kind of with you there. I would have taken Maria for sure, and then Liz. and then probably Ben, because I think with Maria and Charlie are so tight, and I feel like everyone knows that there's no real need to take Charlie on that, and so like work the Ben angle.
Which is so surprising to me that no one else has seen this dynamic duo.
Yeah.
Which I think is absolutely running the game.
Maybe it's just the edit that we see. Maybe like in the real game, like people are oblivious to how close Maria and Charlie are. But
maybe,
who knows? So he ends up taking Tiff, Maria, and Kenzie to try to, with Tiff and Kenzie, to like kind of take things back where it was, try to repair that relationship and
get back to family
on track. Yeah, which I get it, but I think it's too dissolved at this point. There's no saving that.
Yeah.
So
and after he picks Kenzie,
so the whole time, so he chooses Tiff, whatever. Then Liz is like, "I'm begging you, please, please, please." He chooses Maria. Then Liz starts crying, and she's kind of like losing it. And then he chooses Kenzie,
and she is sobbing. Liz is sobbing by this point, just breaking down. And then Jeff speaks up. He's like, Liz, do you feel comfortable talking about this?
Yeah.
And the camera is like, side panel, a little back, and then she just explodes. And she's like, I'm so pissed.
Yeah, she starts yelling. She's like pretty hysterical. Like,
I was awkward watching it.
It's super awkward.
So awkward.
I get like you're probably running on like little sleep. You're hungry, especially her. You've been away from your daughter. There's a lot of emotions, and so this probably just like set her over the edge on all of that. But like, holy cow!
I can only imagine what production was thinking. Other than this is great TV.
Yeah.
Thank you, Liz. But my God. Everyone else was looking so awkward.
Yeah.
And it's just like, oh my gosh. Like, they all felt bad for her, yes. But you have to, you cannot lose control like that. I feel like she's lost everyone's vote, even if she makes it to the end.
Yeah. And this is, very pertinent. So I just started going back to school, and I'm in a business emotional intelligence class, and so it's all about self-awareness and emotional regulation, and she did not
regulate
those emotions.
She wanted to be a regulator,
which, like I said, I get the circumstances and it probably set her over the edge, but you got to try to hold on. I think it's not that big of a deal where we're at in the game, because everyone's just pissed at Q anyway, and so it's just more fire for that. But also I'm sorry, when did any personal experiences or anything like that make you entitled to getting a reward or immunity or anything like that? If
you really want it that bad, you got to win.
Yeah, right.
You cannot leave it up to someone else to choose you.
Or will and deal. Just be like, Q, if you take me, I'll vote whatever way you want me to vote.
Exactly.
Something.
Negotiate. Jeff is always about negotiations. Yeah. The players should be also.
But just that entitlement mentality just bothers me so much in life. And I just felt like it was over the top with Liz.
Yeah, it was brutal. So she has her explosion, and afterward she says she feels better.
Yeah.
Which I'm sure she did.
Yeah.
But still, it's just awkward as heck.
Not a good look.
Terrible look. And then Maria, she goes back and says, sorry, Mama. Feeling bad that she got picked. And
which is not cool. It's not cool to make other people feel bad that they got picked and she didn't, or And I actually really liked how Q handled it, to be honest. He was just cool, calm, and collected, just being I fired people before, they yelled at me. I think he said something about, basically not letting her make him feel bad for his choice. He won it. He gets to choose.
And that's the way you have to go about it. It's yes.
Can't take it personally.
You can't. You're going to piss people off. Q already knows he's pissed everybody
Yeah.
So what's another brick to the house?
Yeah.
Pissing people off.
Yeah,
not
if he hadn't already pissed everyone off, probably not the best gameplay decision not to take Liz, but
no,
that ship has sailed, so it really doesn't matter.
But it's really interesting. Right after that, you get this clip, and it looks like all the players have dispersed, and Jeff is like, whoa.
Yeah.
If you think you got what it takes, send in a video, apply.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
I really like that because it wasn't, I feel like that was like more off the cuff than his other produced casting videos. And so I really like that they did that.
Yeah.
Because that was pretty raw, awkward, but very raw.
Yeah.
And I love seeing Jeff also right after that being as raw.
Yeah.
And just like, this is tough. If you think you got what it takes, apply.
Yeah. Yeah,
So,
I agree. 100%.
I'm going to make a video this weekend.
Heck yes.
I'm coming at you, Jeff.
Do it. Okay, so then we go to the sanctuary where this meal is held, and man, they just bring out so much stuff. And I think he said it was an overnight there too, right? So they're there, they just bring out these appetizers, and then
they're appetizer plates.
Yeah, like the
which
platter
are
with
awesome.
like the cheese, like the mozzarella sticks and spinach artichoke dip and all this stuff, and then they bring out like chicken and shrimp, and then they bring out a burger, like so much food. I'm like, I don't know how they're gonna eat this all, and like
Sounds like they didn't.
they didn't. Like once the burger came, they're all like, no, I'm too full, I'm not gonna eat it.
Yeah.
And so like jumping ahead a little bit, when they go back to camp and they're sharing the experience, they're all like, yeah, none of us ate the burger, and that sets Liz off even more.
And once again, as Liz puts it, read the freaking room.
Yeah.
Yes, if I would have been like you and not said a thing.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, they didn't eat the burger, but whatever. I'm not gonna say what I ate, what I didn't eat. It is what it is.
Right.
So it looked awesome. It looked really good. Q, he says he's got to walk it off.
Yeah. They're all like laying there, and she's like, I'm gonna walk this down a bit, because I'm sure they stuff themselves like much food.
Well, what I would have done is, wait, can I eat this? Go walk about. I'll be back for dinner.
Yeah.
This is my dinner.
I'll be back for more.
Don't take that. Or I'm taking that burger and the plate with me, and I'm just walking around with it all day.
Yeah, and that's the thing too. Like, they never really like explain like the rules of it, right? Because there's like a ton of things. Like I would have tried to like wheel and deal a bit and been like, hey, can I get this burger to go? Can I take it back to camp with me? And then like bartered that with Liz for her vote, or like just held on to it, like eating it the next day, or like, I don't know.
They used to be able to sneak stuff back.
Yeah.
From what I understand, they get about 45 minutes to eat what they can, and then that's it. And production keeps a pretty tight eye on them trying to sneak food and stuff.
Yeah, that makes sense.
Yeah.
So anyways, they're all laying there. Q's like, I'm going to go walk it off. So he leaves, and then Kenzie jumps into, so what are we all thinking?
Yeah.
Just like talking the game strategy.
And both her and Tiff are both gunning for Q still. Maria's sitting back, probably just saying yes, like a savvy player. Yeah. But realizing, no.
Right.
Like, I haven't worked with you, Tiff. I've tried to work with Kenzie, and there's something possibly that could happen. But I'm going to use Q on my team and take you out, Tiff.
Yeah.
Which, anytime you have that, you just have to agree. Yeah. Agree.
Oh, yeah. You can't be like, no.
That's a terrible idea.
Yeah, no, stick with Venus would have, but...
True. There's only one Venus, though.
But everyone knows Tiff has an idol, too. And I think that's pretty important to note. Like, everyone knows that Tiff has that idol because Q blew her game up.
So bad.
And then they're just kind of like talking crap on Q, just being like, oh, yeah, if he thinks this can like bring us back, he's wrong. And
takes more to woo me than one dinner from Applebee's.
Which, like, I get, but like also just like have some gratitude for it. Yeah. I don't know.
Totally.
They didn't show that a ton. So.
Yeah, but I think they're all, at least those two, Tiff and Kenzie, are over Q. Yeah. And there's like, we just want to move on and play our game without him in the game.
For sure.
Then it transfers back to camp, and Liz is just breaking down. She can't make a fire. She's crying. At this point, I was like, oh my gosh, are they giving us the send home edit of Liz? That's what really kept hitting, because they're showing her so much. She's having this pity party about this burger, and I'm like, is she going to go so over the top? She's either going to tap, or she's going to tell everyone, just vote me. I'm done. Yeah. I'm sick of you hoe bags. Yeah. I just want to go home and be done with this. And
Yeah, I didn't
I don't
think
know.
about
It's
that.
hard.
Yeah.
Like I would love to play, but it's got to be bloody hard not being able to eat. But
Yeah.
Liz, you also signed up because you knew what you could eat, what you couldn't eat.
Yeah.
And you knew this was going to be a struggle.
Yeah, she definitely knew her dietary restrictions were gonna make this a lot harder.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah. So it shows the next morning.
And they're all kind of like talking too, and a lot of them are just throwing Q out
under
there,
this.
kind of ragging on him, like, how could you not take Liz, and blah, blah, blah.
That's the thing, like, that would be, if I didn't get picked and, I just pile on too. But in the back of my mind, I'm like, yeah, but I'm going to use him to vote you guys out.
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Which I think you see Charlie kind of thinking that.
Yeah.
But, like, a lot of them aren't.
Aren't thinking that.
Yeah. A lot of them are just like, nope, we're getting this.
And it definitely shows when we get to the immunity challenge that they're not thinking that.
Yeah.
They come back the next morning. It's like Ben, Liz, and Charlie. They're watching the sunrise, which looks phenomenal. Mm-hmm. And then the four come back from the sanctuary. And they start talking about the food.
Yeah.
Terrible idea. And after they talk about the food, and Liz says, read the room, she apologizes to Q and says it's the biggest lie she's ever told in the game.
Yeah, she's like, I'm sorry I yelled at you, blah, blah, blah. And then she's on camera, like, just in an interview, she's like, that's the biggest lie ever.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yeah, I'm pretty sure it didn't come off very sincere either. So
I'm pretty sure Q's just like, oh, did he say, well, you can just take your apology and send it home or stuff it or whatever.
Yeah.
And yeah, on both.
And that's where he kind of was like, I don't need your apology.
Yeah.
Like, in that like interview, he's just like, no, I'm not gonna make you feel bad. Like, I don't need your apology for like doing what I wanted, like I needed to do. Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah.
Which, great, good on him.
Yeah, he's over it. He gets it, but the game moves on. So they go to the immunity challenge that day, and it's basically a bucket of water that's 25% of their pre-game weight. How much weight do you think they've lost thus far?
Oh, so much. There's been how many days? Like 18?
19?
I bet they've lost a ton, especially in Liz's case, right? Like where she's not really eating anything.
Well, Jeff talks about that, and the clothes are looking baggy, they're looking skinny and small. So I'm probably guessing.
And a lot of them, to be honest, were in like good shape. So like, I don't know if this is accurate because I'm not a physician or anything, but I feel like you lose like fat first, right?
Yeah.
And then muscle. But if you don't really have a ton of fat to lose, you're gonna be losing muscle pretty quick, right? And so like in the case of like Venus, like she's like wasted away to nothing.
Yeah. But at the same time, like even though Venus is so small, like how much is she really losing versus like maybe Q, who's bulked up.
Yeah.
Yes, he doesn't have a lot of fat, but his muscles are going to deteriorate fairly quickly. And I would love to know how much Soda, if she had made it to this far, how much she would have lost by this. I was thinking about this, like myself, I'm like 175 pounds, so we're looking at like 40, 45 pounds of water, which
pretty significant.
Yeah.
And it's like, so it's the...
It's a reel.
It's the reel that you just have to like grip strength and hold it from spinning off on you. Man, it would be hard. It
would be very hard.
It would be super hard.
Like the good thing about this, you can re-crank it. You're going to use energy and
but all of it's just your forearms. Like it's just gonna kill
forearms you. And as long as you can keep your hands dry, that's going to help a ton.
That's going to help a bunch.
But it's going to be tough.
It's going to be super hard.
Be super tough.
I don't know, once again, the rules of it, like the positions that you can get in.
Well, it looked like you could change positions because Maria started like this. Charlie did that for a minute.
But here's my strategy.
Go for it.
Which I'm guessing is not allowed, but dude, you just get under there, one hand on top, one hand on bottom, and you just kind of like wedge your elbow and your knee
to try and
just
post it.
Yeah. Because then that's not like grip strength, you're just kind of like wedging it right there. Which I would assume that's not legal.
Probably not. But maybe no
Who
one's
knows?
just ever thought of that
Yeah.
yet.
I don't know.
Because most of them are like, they're hanging down, like
Yeah.
they're just trying to use their body weight to help somewhat.
So Venus lasts 10 seconds maybe.
Shocker.
then Ben's out. Then Q. Then Kenzie. Then Maria. And
before it started though, they had rice negotiations.
Yeah.
And
so rice is back on the table if 4 people sit.
I'm sorry, once again, this is bad gameplay on some of these people. You're not going to beat
Venus, for sure.
Venus. Okay,
No.
Venus, Kenzie, you had the right play. You weren't going to win.
Yeah. So Liz and Kenzie are kind of like,
they pop
we'll
forward.
sit out, we need 2 more.
But Venus, and I'm sorry, but Ben, let's be honest, dude. You're not a challenge beast. You might as well sit and help the whole tribe get rice. You're not a target.
Mm-hmm.
So, yes, I know you guys want to play, but sometimes it's going to carry more favor for you to get the rice for your team.
Yeah.
That's going to help later on down the road with the jury. Like, hey, this is one of my moves. I stepped up and got rice for the team.
Yeah, 100%.
Because you're not going to, I'm sorry, you're not going to, well, I was surprised Q went out, other than he probably had a lot of water. But you're not going to be Charlie.
No.
And Tiff?
No.
Like,
no.
Tiff is definitely
for sure
the strongest of the girls.
Yeah. So
she proved it here.
So they only get 2, and then Jeff is like, okay, how about this deal? And he pulls out like a little jar of rice. He's like, for each person that sits out, I'll give them this jar. And so they can't get 4, so Kenzie goes back in, and then Liz sits, and everyone's like, oh, I would have been mad at you if you didn't take this deal. I'm like, why? Like, why would you be mad? Like, great, sit out. I don't care.
That just makes it easier for me to win.
Yeah, right.
That's one less person I have to compete against.
Yeah, so she sits, which, great, like, you should. Like, that's 100% the move you should make.
Yeah.
So, so Liz sat that challenge and got some rice so she can eat.
Which is good for her. Hopefully that'll help her with her mental stability a little bit more.
Yeah.
And it looked like she was very thankful to get that rice. Jeff, during this, I think they go like 7 or 8 minutes.
Yeah.
And then Jeff says Gabler, who won his season, went for 38 minutes on this. And Gabler was 48 at the time. So I will say men have a bigger advantage of this.
For sure. Yeah.
Men's grip is going to outwit or outplay women's grip unless they're like an Olympic lifter.
Yeah, as a general.
Yeah, in general. And so, I'm sorry, ladies, but most likely if there's somewhat of a fit guy there, or even an older gentleman, his grip is going to outdo you every time.
For sure. So then it comes down to Tiff and Charlie. And Tiff was just like...
locked in.
Yeah, she wasn't moving. She was just like dead set. And Charlie was like readjusting and everything like that. And
she was dead set till she wasn't.
Yeah, exactly. So they just started sitting there locked in. I can't even remember. Do you remember how long? It was like 20 or something.
It's probably 21 minutes.
Yeah, something like that.
Close to that.
And then Tiff just whatever happened, just
out of nowhere, just dropped.
Real quick, dropped. And then Charlie is talking about how at home he's leading up to this. He's doing a lot of grip strength workouts, like whatever he can
squeeze, grippers,
squeezing, like hanging, like all of that, just to work on his grip because he's seen like how important grip is on a lot of the challenges, which is super smart on his part.
Yeah, he says he's been doing it for 2 years.
Yeah.
So you gotta work it. I would have loved to see how Hunter would have done.
Yeah. Oh, I think he would have crushed it.
that would have been a long challenge or a longer challenge, but it would have been fun.
Yeah.
And then Kenzie and Maria talk, and Kenzie just can't come on board thinking it's the right time or right position to play or work on Tiff and blindsiding her.
Which I think like some of her like friendship and like that relationship is clouding her like gameplay judgment on that, because I was like, why isn't it the right time? Like,
well, it's interesting because they also have a little cutscene with her and Tiff talking and Venus sleeping on the boat in the background.
Yeah.
And Tiff is saying something like, you're not trying to blindside me.
Yeah.
And Kenzie's like, well, not yet.
Yeah.
And so
And then
it's kind of like that funny banter, but they both know they're speaking truth.
Yeah.
And it really does come down to we have the same game. It's who's going to get who first.
Yeah.
So, and then they talk to Q, and Q talks about being a high roller in Vegas. And I was like, really? Okay, well, if you're a high roller in Vegas, get on you. Good for you.
Yeah, right.
But it really just comes down to, can they get Liz on board?
Yeah. Yeah, 100%.
Can they swing it from going 4-4 to 5-3?
Which everything in all the edits is, she's like, screw Q, I'm getting him out. I want him out because he didn't invite me on the challenge, which is like super petty, and it was like really bothering me. I'm like, yeah, but that's not the smartest gameplay. And like everyone was like, oh, we need to get Q out. I'm like, this is not the smartest gameplay move to get Q out. Like, can't you all see this?
Maria's playing it well in the long game, going, yes, you're all pissed at Q, and I want that.
Yeah.
I want him to come with me.
Yeah.
Because I think she will take Q over Charlie every day.
Mm-hmm.
And I would too.
I would
because
too,
now Charlie has won 2.
Yeah. Back to back.
And he's been second to Hunter.
Yeah.
And so it's only a matter of time before Maria is going to target Charlie and get him out.
Which he should be thinking about that.
Oh, yeah. And he's got to be thinking, I got to get her out now because
Yeah.
our game has been so aligned.
Right.
And so it really does come down to, you got 4 and 4, you got, can you get one person to come over? And I really want to know if Maria talked to Kenzie and go, listen, in the event that we could get 4 and 4, Tiff and Q, in a revote, if Tiffany doesn't play her idol, would you come over and vote Tiffany?
Mm-hmm.
I would love to know if they had that conversation, because that is something I would have been talking about. Like,
Yeah.
listen, if I can get 4 people to vote Tiff, and you take you get 4 people,
put it in
and put it on Q in a revote, and Tiff doesn't vote, or Tiff doesn't play her idol, will you come over and get Tiff out?
Which seems like kind of that's what they did a bit with Hunter.
Yeah, exactly.
Cute. So I agree with that. She did, like, it showed her a lot talking about, oh, I'm scared of this idol. I want to flush this idol out.
That's great, but you can still flush the idol, and one of the two is going to go home, and it's going to be good for your game, because either Tiff's going to go home with the idol, or Q's going to go home because Tiff plays the idol.
Right.
And either way, it's a win-win.
It's win-win. Yeah, for sure.
So
yeah.
It's one of those things I'd love to see more conversations between Maria and Kenzie, and if that was brought up. Also, I would have loved to see Maria and Liz talking more.
Mm-hmm.
How did Maria convince her? Like, listen, I know you're pissed.
Yeah, because they didn't show any of that.
No, and for good reason, because you gotta keep the drama and the suspense. But I would have loved to see that. How did she convince her? Go, listen, just for one vote, just come with us, vote this way. I promise you, we can get him out on the next one if you want.
Yeah.
Or something like that. But this is best for both of our games to help us get farther in the game.
Yeah. Tons of conversations they didn't show. So then we get to Tribal.
Oh, one other thing. If I was Maria going to Liz, this is what I would have told her. I would have gone, listen, if you will vote with us, I promise you, let's go to the final 3 together.
Yeah.
Because I know I can beat you. I wouldn't say that last part.
Dangle some carrots.
But I would totally lock in, let's do final 3. We can make it. So that's one position I would have gone with.
For sure.
So.
Okay, Tribal is just a bash on Q fest.
Like the last couple.
Everyone's saying this.
Yeah.
To her credit, Liz, like, honestly was quite convincing in it. Like,
oh yeah.
Jeff just calls him out. He's like, hey, how many more of these blindsides are you guys gonna do when you say you're gonna vote Q but you don't?
Yeah.
We've got 2 big ones over here on the jury, and I mean, he's right, but at the same time, why vote Q out?
I know. Like, And
everyone else just needs to understand that. And
well,
be
it's so funny.
We
It's
aren't
like
actually voting Q out.
yeah, it's so funny because they all say they're on the same page.
Yeah.
But what page are you on? Because some of you are looking at, close to like 2/3. You're 2/3 of the way through the book.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, but the other one, I think you're only 1/3 of the way through the book.
Yeah.
Because you're not seeing what's happening. And so they're all saying it's eerily calm.
Yeah.
But that's when you know something's afoot. Whether you're setting things in motion or you're just letting things be played in motion and you're not reading it. That's if it was me and I'm like, oh my gosh, nothing's happening, I would be very nervous.
Yeah. And I think a lot of people just were like pretty straightforward there too. Like Q was like, hey, I'm trying to get people onto my plan, but I've made peace. If I go home, I go home.
Yeah.
I'm like, yeah.
And that's the way he should be. Like, I'm kind of living on borrowed time.
Yeah.
And every day is just a blessing for me.
Yeah.
And so it wasn't like a super intriguing tribal.
No.
At all. But then Jeff says it's time to vote.
Time to go vote.
And so they do.
Cast their votes. And
It's so funny. Venus, this is the easiest vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
One letter is all I need.
Right. Yeah. So then Jeff does this thing. Anyone wants to play an advantage or an idol, like do so now. And Tiff doesn't. And then he's like, all right, let's tally the votes.
And so Tiff gets the first vote. And then the next...
Which she doesn't... No one's surprised by that because it's obviously Q that wrote it.
Yeah.
And then her face... Well, then Q gets...
3 votes.
And then one comes up for Tiff. And her face was like, what?
Well, the second one, she's like...
Yeah, she's like, huh, that's weird.
The third one, she's like... It really hits her like...
Yeah.
Sorry,
like,
I just got smoked.
Biscuit. Yeah.
And it's the same thing with Hunter. When the third vote hit, they knew like...
Yep.
I
should have played my idol.
Even funnier than that, Kenzie's reaction, like, oh my gosh.
Kenzie was pretty shocked. Tiff was shocked. I think Venus was shocked. Like
everyone that was out, Tiff, Venus, Kenzie, were blown away.
Yeah.
And I'm sorry, Kenzie, you missed your shot.
Yeah, 100%.
You cannot. You were out of the vote, and now you're going to be scrambling.
Yeah.
Because who's to say it's not you next?
Yeah, because if you are not in on that vote, you're
on the bottom.
And if you do not win immunity, which that group, not a good chance of them winning immunity. They're kind of going to get picked off one by one.
Yeah, as they should. Like, yes, now in a way, Q has become the swing vote.
Yeah. Yeah.
Like you could have Liz, Venus, and Kenzie versus Maria, Ben, or Siga, basically.
Yeah.
And Q in the middle. And in a way, Q's become the mafia boss again. He can literally run the game the rest of the way.
And like it's like a crappy position for him to be in because he'll get farther, but he's not gonna win. Like exactly. Unless somehow he does some big moves coming up, or like I don't even know how he.
I would have to say, for Q to win, you're gonna have to take out Maria and Charlie.
Yeah, 100%.
You have to take them out.
Yeah,
you're going to have to take out Kenzie, and then Ben.
Yeah,
in that order, most likely.
Yeah, if it's you and Venus at the end.
Because if it's you, Venus, and Liz. Yeah. I really think it's a crapshoot.
It is.
It could literally go down to 3-3-2.
Yeah.
Or something like that.
For sure. Yeah. I don't know. I would even throw Ben in a little bit. I think he's got a better social game. I don't know.
Because I do think...
He hasn't done anything.
Ben hasn't done a dang thing other than just follow along. But I'm thinking, there is a way there, a chance that Soda, I don't think she's going to vote for Liz or Venus.
I don't either.
You could get Soda's vote. Tevin, I think you could get Tevin's vote. Hunter, that's one, it's like 50-50. It could go one way.
And you just kind of hope that people don't play off of their biases, right? And they just actually look at gameplay, competition, strategy, stuff like that. Because
that's so hard when you're in it.
But if you're just like, oh, I just don't like this guy, but yeah, he has played the better game. I think there's people that just vote based on them not liking the person, which I don't.
Oh, totally.
I don't feel like it should be that way,
But if someone's betrayed you,
yeah,
it really hurts. It stings, and it's so fresh.
Yeah.
You just got stabbed by this person, and you don't have the opportunity to win $1 million. And so it's funny, but Q literally could still win this game.
He could.
As funny as it could be, because Maria, even if Q gets her out, there's a chance she could respect his game enough to vote for him.
Yeah, 100%.
Because I think she likes him.
Yeah.
So this is hilarious.
It is.
But Q has become the swing vote for the next tribal.
For sure. And I think he's going to stay there for a while. And yeah. So should Tiff have played her idol?
Yes. Yes. When you knew Hunter was going home, the next one, you have to play it and just get one more day.
Yeah.
And the same thing with Hunter. You have to play it. If you don't win immunity, you have to play it and bet on yourself that you're going to go find another one.
Yep, 100%.
So
100%. So then, so Tiff gets big time blindsided.
So big.
I think Maria is just really running this game. She's doing a great job. We'll see next time. They didn't really give anything away in the teaser. They just showed Q laughing.
And I don't know, the way it edited and came across, it just seemed like everyone's like, oh my gosh, she's gone from hero to villain.
Yeah.
I think they're talking about Maria, and maybe she's bossing people around now more.
Yeah.
But because that's the only one who I really feel like
any chaos, any like them figuring out there's a big target is just great for Q's game.
Oh yeah. The more chaos, the better.
Yeah.
He'll thrive in it.
Yeah. So should be interesting. Who do you think is going home next week?
It's either Kenzie or Maria, I think. It's one of those two. Just because I feel like they're going to be the biggest targets.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't see the Sega 3 breaking up. It's just if Kenzie can rally Venus and Liz on her side and Q.
Mm-hmm.
But it's either Kenzie or Maria.
I'd agree.
And I'd probably say Kenzie at this point.
I'm kind of feeling Kenzie.
Because I feel like Q's going to go with Maria and company.
Oh, I would. They threw him the only safety net.
Yeah.
I'd be so loyal to them.
Yeah, he's probably thinking, if I stick with them, I can least, the worst I could do is fourth.
Yeah. And
there's a chance I can go and fire and at least take third.
Yeah.
So.
For sure. Yeah.
And loyalty's big.
Yeah.
When people are giving you a life raft.
Yeah, when there's so much backstabbing too. That's been my favorite part is like these past few ones have all been like these blind sides.
Yeah.
It's been fun.
And nobody loyal to anybody.
Yeah.
And some people on the vote and others outside of the vote.
For sure. So
let us know who you think is going home.
Yeah.
Man, I can't believe they're down to 7.
I know. It's crazy.
I mean, the finale's just in a couple of weeks here.
Yeah. It's crazy. Crazy. We're getting down to it. It's been a good season so far, and can't wait to see how it plays out.
Yeah, it's gonna be fun. But that's it for this episode of the Amazing Survivors podcast.
Yes, stay tuned for the next one. The next episode will be about The Amazing Race, season 36, episode 8. So stay tuned for that.
Till next week, guys. Yo ho ho.